There's great inequity in the educational system because the children who live in wealthy neighborhoods pay more taxes to fund education. So the schools in those neighborhoods, in the neighborhoods where children need it the least, have access to the best facilities, the best schools, the best books, the best computers and resources and extracurricular activities. 70 different languages spoken in the public schools in Tukwila, mixed with the African American population that has been displaced from Madison Valley to Southeast Seattle. The teachers are up against greater requirements. They are judged based on their ability to keep the test scores up of very challenging classrooms. They differentiate the curriculum so that children of all different language groups and ethnicities all have access to challenging curriculum, even though they don't speak the language. So it's almost impossible for some of those kids to get an education that's comparable to their peers in more affluent communities. And they're stigmatized by the labels that in some cases are not true. So while our Constitution and the Declaration of Independence ensure equality of opportunity for all, there's great inequity from the very get-go in the education.
I wouldn't say difficult, it was just like different. I was actually fairly excited to go to EPS, but just like the culture change of like coming from a predominantly African American school to a predominantly white school was a little bit different. And I lived across the bridge over in Seattle, so just the nature between Seattle and Kirkland / Bellevue was a lot different. The way I wanted to describe it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to like a end of the year party with my friends. Oh my god, that's a jet ski. I've never been on a jet ski. That's a boat. I've never seen a boat. All right, all my friends have cars, like things like that. Just different ways of like dealing with stuff that you don't usually see, or I didn't usually see growing up. So it was different, but the adjustment, like the more I was around it, the more I got used to it. And the more I matured, the better I got used to it. The differences between the amount of money families had from where I'm from compared to over on the east side was a little bit different, so I had to adjust to all of it. It's definitely worth it because I feel like everyone should have somewhat of an experience like this, and like not so much as like getting out of your comfort zone, but seeing different ways of life, because in reality you're not going to be around the people that you grew up with in the real world. You have to grow, and that's like mentally, and your perspective of the world has to adjust, and it's better to do that sooner than later. So just like me at such a young age, coming into a completely different environment was probably one of the most helpful situations I've ever put myself in. But I feel like it was more of a learning experience in the end. Seeing how both sides live, I guess, gave me a wider spectrum of how the world actually works.
It was very hard for me to start a new school experience when I didn't know the culture. It took me a solid 2-3 years to understand the culture. You could even see that with my family. My cousins, I could not have a very good bonding experience every time I saw them because they're American and I wouldn't understand what they're talking about. So it took me a while to understand their culture. Now that I talk with them not so long ago, I can finally understand, have a great time with them. I have a different humor than my friend's humor in the U.S. So I think that I'm not funny, maybe a little bit annoying.
What is the difference between Spanish and Mexican?
Mexican versus Mexican.
I just embraced it. I didn't give any excuses for trying to get rid of the U.S., so I became the U.S. But in Spain, I would be king of a jungle.